Hi, and welcome to the Flatback 4 podcast with me, Andy Maguire, Scott Eaglin, a podcast where we have lots of opinions and you probably won't agree with one.
Yeah, that's how we do it, isn't it? Yeah,
That's it.
that's why we're so
It's a
popular.
game of opinions. It's a game
Yeah,
of
it's a game of
opinions.
opinions.
Oh. It's been, we had a start to Premier League last night. We'll touch a little bit on Leeds Wolves last night. Another defeat for us. Really fancied us last night as well.
I did a little bit. A lot of
Yeah,
injuries
but
though, man. A lot of injuries.
I
Although
agree. I agree.
every club's having injuries at the minute, haven't they? But yeah, we've got.
I think before any Leeds fans, if they watch this and say I think if we'd have taken where we are in the league at the start of the season, I think we'd have snapped your hands off, wouldn't we? So, things into perspective, we've not done too bad. However, it was a bit of a shame to lose last night as well, and to that kind of goal as well.
Yeah.
I hate that kind of guy. I want to be, a great goal, great team goal, worldy goal, but
Yeah, if that had gone straight in, I'd have just sort of said okay.
oh god, yeah, absolutely, and as well the fact that it's Traore who's not assisted or scored, and I tweeted that he was just a hench version of Walcott,
And then
so
he turned
it
into
was
Ronaldo.
inevitable. So I mean, the Premier League, I mean, Man City, I mean, where can we even start with them? There's 16 games on the bounce. Gundogan's turned into all-9 Messi, and he didn't even play the other night. And you know what? I want to touch on a really good point that Jason Cundy made. Did you see it on TalkSport? How he said, because we're going to talk a little bit about Man United and how the fact that they're even still kind of clawing the way into second and third, and they're still there. He made a fantastic point, Jason Cundy, that if you take Bruno Fernandes out of that Man United team, they feel it.
Yeah.
Kevin De Bruyne has been missing for how many games, and you wouldn't even know it. And that is the difference. And I thought it was I think it was brilliant. It's a brilliant point because I think it just shows that you do need that strength in depth. And that is where Liverpool have suffered this year. And we talked about how they didn't go get that marquee signing last year. Do you think now that Man City have run away with that? They're going to win the league. We know that now. But they will then immediately strengthen in the summer and maybe get a Kane, Haaland. They'll just go and do like what the Man United 90s used to do and go for Liverpool to take it off City and then keep going with it.
Yeah, they've been excellent at this City. I think they've had the luxury though, haven't they, of having that strength and depth.
But is that a luxury or is that good management?
It's a bit of both, really. I mean, you look through the squad, they've just got quality throughout, and even the players that maybe weren't part of the squad or haven't been. We touched on Gundogan, didn't we, last week? And I think you said that he's been unbelievable for him throughout, and he's not really been to the heights that he is now at the minute, is he?
He's always been a steady 7.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. You bring him on, he's going to be good.
And he's been a beneficiary of the fact that Aguero Aguero's always injured, but Jesus isn't firing, and obviously he's stepped up, and he's got the players that can step up, and he's the sort of tactician that can create that false 9 type player. Whereas again, we're touching on strength and depth. I don't think Man United have really got that, and neither have Liverpool to an extent. I still think though that Liverpool's first 11 is better than anybody's within the league. But Man City, the first 11 by, once they're all fit.
I'm not so sure about that.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why. Because I look at that Man City team now, and I look at the balance and everything, and I would nearly agree with it. And by the way, I don't think they're a million miles off it, but I think City's team edge it.
Okay.
Go on.
Let's touch on that. Let's spend a minute talking about that, because you look at Liverpool, mate. Their first 11. Let's pretend they're all on form. They're all free of injury. That first 11 sort of picks itself, doesn't it? Alisson, Robertson, Van Dijk, either Gomez or Matip, Trent. Then your midfield 3 is Henderson, Fabinho, Wijnaldum, maybe even Thiago, and then your front 3 picks itself. And you look at that 11, and that, I mean, it was the same last season, wasn't it? It destroyed most teams last season. Whereas I don't think you could probably name Man City's first 11 because they chop and change so much.
But they can chop and change so much because the players are excellent.
Yeah, and I think this season, mate. Sorry, I think this season has been the season to chop and change because fitness isn't 100% for everybody. It's such an inconsistent season as well. And when you've got quality, strength and depth like Man City do, they can chop and change, and they can just bring players in, take players out. When they're not 100%. Whereas Liverpool just don't have that. Neither do Man United.
Okay, so we're not a Liverpool or Man City fan, but if you were a fan, which team would you rather have? Well, you'd obviously want Man City because 38 games Premier League, Cup games, Champions League games.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna have the same 11 starting week in week out. This isn't the 70s when there were no subs and whatnot. You've got to. So I do see what you're saying, but the Firmino thing divides opinion up front, and I know that you said that front three picks itself, but for the last 18 months or so, I don't think he has been amazing, Firmino. And this is what I'm saying. Last year, if they would have gone and got a marquee name, whether it would have been a Kane at the time or whatnot, and really gone and made it, you win the Champions League and you win the Premier League, you've got money to spend, and you could go get a Kane.
Yeah,
okay?
like when they bought Ricky Lambert.
Absolutely, they're on merit, But he, why didn't they go get that? Because for me, that would have been. And I still think they need another defender because I think Matip and Gomez have always been injury prone. If they'd have gone and got two players like that, I don't think we'd have been in this position this year. I think Man City would have been running them close again, but I still think Liverpool would have edged it. Now I can understand maybe why they've gone, we've got Salah who's 28, Firmino who's like 29, and Mane who's like 27, 28 as well. It's not like they had to rush and do it, but they always say it's quite easy winning it because you can have a flip. Look at Leicester. Not that it was easy; it was a miracle and brilliant. But staying there is the hardest point, and I think they really missed it last year. And I think City looked at that, went and got a defender that they needed. John Stones has come very, very good, and Phil Foden has just slipped into David Silva. So. It's great, really, for us neutral fans and stuff like that. But I do think that Liverpool have maybe set them back. I think they've set themselves back about 18 months. I really do. Yeah. I think they'll come back strong next year, but I do think that they've missed a big opportunity this year.
I think the signings that they made as well in the summer, they probably didn't target the right player. I think they went for Thiago.
I agree.
By the way, Thiago is a sensational footballer.
World-class player, just a luxury player.
But yeah, he's a luxury player, isn't he? He sort of strides through games. I'm trying to compare him to somebody who's sort of from the past, but he would be very much a Man City type player. Where teams are, teams just sort of back off and they can have sort of free reign. Whereas Liverpool of sort of last season and the season before, we said this before, haven't we? They 3-0 up in 20 minutes, 4-0 up by half time, game gone. It's that. What do they call it? It's that rock and roll football that
and fear factor. When you were playing Liverpool, it was like, let's try and keep them out for the first.
Yeah, when you went to Anfield, it was like, right, just shut up shop for the first 20-25 minutes, and then you sort of won the first battle. Whereas now, you look at the Burnley game, you look at the Brighton game, they're just sort of strolling through games and hoping for a 1 or 2-0 win.
Teams are not scared of them at the minute because they know that they've got no Van Dijk at the back. Alisson has obviously had a couple of horrendous games and stuff.
They can be got at, but Liverpool probably in the summer maybe did. I mean, it's all right saying it in hindsight now that Van Dijk's injured. They probably should have got another centre back because although Van Dijk is the cream of the crop when it comes to centre backs, the other 2 or 3 even that are injured now in terms of Matip and Gomez, Van Dijk were making them look like prime John Terry, weren't they? They probably needed another centre back to sort of step.
I've got a question for you then. Van Dijk is 29 now, isn't he? So he's coming into that real way. He's probably got 3 massive years left, and then you think if it might play another 5 years. But this injury, it's a bad injury. He's not 20. He's not 19. He's got that 10 years of wear and tear on football. Would it be right for Liverpool to maybe as well go get 2 centre backs? One already good, maybe a 25-year-old who's in Europe, a big name or someone in the Premier League, and then maybe go by a 22, 23-year-old who's got a big rep, ready for that transition. Do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
If he doesn't come back firing, and when I mean firing, being that leader and strong, and he gets another knock, his hamstring goes. All of a sudden, then you go, well, he's not going to recover, and he'll sail off to AC Milan.
Yeah, I know what you mean. To be fair, I mean, Roy Keane made a good point, as he always does. He said about Liverpool becoming bad champions, which they are at the minute. You're only really as good. Title winners are only as good as what the follow-up season are. We talk about Leicester, who were a one-off title winner, and that was unbelievable, and will probably never happen again. But a club the size of Liverpool, can defend titles.
Yeah.
They're no stranger to winning trophies in the past 20 years.
And this is what I'm saying. I think they've missed a step. I think.
No, you're right. You're right. They missed a trick. They've probably been hindered a little bit by what's happened in the last 12 months. But if you're a champion, you're going to go out in the summer and you're going to strengthen and go again. And we say all the time, don't we, mate? You reach the cream of the crop. Where do you go from there? And it's players like Roy Keane and the Man Uniteds of yesteryear, and Man City now to an extent. Very rarely now do you see teams going again the next season and winning the title again. And sometimes it's because they're just not reinforcing what they've got at the minute. They're just not bringing in players to. We've been in teams before, 5-a-side teams before. When you bring a new player in, even if they're just
I know
as
it
good as
doesn't
the rest
matter
of
what
it,
level.
it just sort of freshens it up a little bit, doesn't it? You bring somebody else in who just sort of picks it up a little bit. And we touched on it again, but when you bring somebody like a Thiago, and who's maybe not the same type of player as the rest of you, it will slow you down a little bit.
He has added quality, but he's also hindered them because he's used to playing in the midfield where there's two CDMs as well. And Liverpool, like you said, it's so fast and furious. Jordan Henderson, when he gets the ball in centre mid, it's up and past, it's gone. Where he'll get it, he'll turn around on himself. Yeah. He wants to ping it, and it's great. That's fine. When you are controlling the game, you're 4-0 up. Thiago, you can bring him on all day long. Yeah. But to get that high impact to the Premier League, and I also think Thiago's been a bit shocked with how fast it's been as well, and he's been injured a bit as well, so he hasn't really got into his rhythm. I'll probably judge him next season, really. Or if he gets a run of games now.
Yeah, you're probably right with Thiago, mate. It's difficult for players this season. I'm trying not to judge players this season because
me too. He's 29 and he's done it. He's won it all.
It's not just the on-pitch performances where they're struggling as well. I'm sure off the pitch, where they're stuck at home and they can't really mingle and go out and sort of see. We love Liverpool for a night out. You can't go out and about and do you know what I mean though? You can't go out and about.
Yeah, no, it's true. It is true. It's we don't know what's going on.
Especially when you go into a country where you've never really played before.
I don't know whether he speaks amazing English. I don't know what the. I don't know what he's. I don't think I've ever heard him speak English.
I don't doubt that he would probably adopt the lingo and the heritage of the country and stuff. But it's difficult, particularly in these times, for somebody to come from another country and then settle in.
Yeah, especially this time of COVID. But touching then, so leaving Liverpool, that's quite a nice way then onto Man United, because they're just under, they're underneath the pack that are leading the way, but they are crawling on. And if I don't think anyone's going to make a mistake in the City team, but for that second spot is up for grabs, and I can't believe that we're talking. I mean, we've said it before. Solskjaer odds on to get sacked in November, and they're still there. Bruno Fernandes again in Europe were just unbelievable, and I said that about the Jason Cundy comment, and it was it really made me think, oh, yeah, that is so true, how that one man. Now, if they can keep there and they somehow grab second, although they win a Europa League, which would be unbelievable if they actually do that, I wouldn't have even thought that in a million years. They've got a big summer. They've got to buy because. 100%. And this is where the other problem then adds on to Liverpool, because if Man United strengthen again and actually get 2 or 3 top players, they're a club who will be sniffing around the Premier League title again next year. That might make it again harder for Liverpool. And I mean, for me, Man United, I hate that. I don't really like the term deadwood, but Martial, I don't know whether he's going to come. I think Cavani's been brilliant. Cavani and Fernandes have carried. I love the way he leads the line and stuff like that. But Man United are still there. For them, what happens for them now? We've said it before. Is De Gea? Do we get rid of him? And then bring in a Henderson? What's the?
Yeah.
It's a weird transition period for Man United.
I was just going to say, mate, it's like a positive transition period for Man United, isn't it? It's not like, like what Arsenal have got a 10-year transitional period, through mediocrity. They're actually, they're shifting out some of the deadwood. They're bringing in, we look at players like Rojo who went in January. They're shifting out some of the deadwood and bringing in some real good players. There were questions about Cavani when he came in, but he added something different, some experience. He's a winner. His movement, even for his age, is unreal. He'll play in the Premier League for another couple of years, even after
I think he will as well. I think he will. I think they'll use him wisely.
Yeah, I think you never lose that movement.
Could have signed for Inter Milan, didn't he?
Of course, yeah.
Lukaku coming back.
Of course, yeah. But you never lose that movement.
He is.
You look at Ibrahimovic now at 39. You never lose that movement. He might lose a bit of pace, but again, he's not relied on pace. But going back to what you said about Fernandes, they are heavily reliant on Fernandes. They just don't look the same team without him. It's the same with Spurs with Kane, Liverpool with Van Dijk, and we said it, about Man City. They lose one or two players, they're absolutely fine. Whereas Man United, they lose Fernandes, they look a poor team, and they make a lot of players look very, very average. There is some deadwood still in that Man United team.
Oh, big time.
I think Martial. I mean, I really don't see anything with Martial at all.
He's 25, and you think now he's been here 5 years? I think he came at 1920, and
he looked unbelievable
what he
when he
is.
first came in, didn't you? He looked, they were comparing him to Henry, weren't they? They were saying that he plays out on that far left and cuts inside, but I think his first goal was the only time I ever saw him on the left.
Do that. Me too, I think so, yeah.
And then,
me too.
And then he's pretty much been non-existent since. I mean, he scored some goals. He will score goals.
He is. I think it's frustrating because I think that there is a top, he's a World Cup player. He is a winner. He's a player that undoubtedly is brilliant. I actually feel he's a bit of an old school Arsenal player. I don't know why, but I do get that. And do you know what? There was another thing that I wanted to ask you. Arsenal, right? I know we're talking on United, but I just want to talk about Arsenal because it's hard with Arsenal because they've looked shocking at times, and then they've looked okay. Aubameyang scored hat-trick against Leeds. We'll brush past that. But they're talking about these young players and stuff like that. But Saka, right? Would Saka get anywhere near that Man City team?
Would Saka?
Yeah.
No.
Because I don't think he does. I don't think he gets anywhere near it.
No.
But yeah, Arsenal is, and listen, he's playing well, and I'm not having a go at Saka. I think he is a good footballer, very good. But all of a sudden now, I think because Arsenal are being starved of success and they haven't really, I know they've won the FA Cup and stuff like that, but they're not challenging. They're not even in top four at the minute. And all of a sudden they've got this 18, 19-year-old who's a very, very good player, but they're putting him on this pedestal, and I look and I think nowhere near.
No.
But just let me finish. But Saka, if he went to a Man United, would probably look good in that team, and he wouldn't suit Man City. But if Man United bought him, he would be a very good signing.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
I do, mate. I mean, they're in a sticky situation at Arsenal. They're one defeat away from Arteta being called for sacking, and they're one win away from Arteta being amazing. It's just they're so inconsistent at the Arsenal.
Well, they're only just above us. Was it 3 or 4 points? Not.
But yeah, Arsenal fans seem quite positive about Arteta and the way that he's going about his business. He's got such a tough job on there with Arsenal. Again, talk about deadwood within the team. He has got probably 60-70% of that team needs to be shipped out if they even want to challenge back for top four. They've got a couple of good young players. We like Smith Rowe, don't we? We think he's
very good player. He's phenomenal.
Yeah.
And Saka is a great player.
Saka
I'm just saying, I just don't think he gets anywhere near that City team.
And that's
No,
I think you're right.
Phil Foden is miles ahead of him.
Yeah, I think that they're in another league, aren't they? The sort of younger players like at Man City. But yeah, they're in a particularly tricky situation for Arsenal. I don't actually know what would be a successful season for Arsenal fans. I mean, if you were an Arsenal fan, what would you be happy with?
If I would say not getting Europe and have a year where they just when Chelsea just concentrated on the league when they finished outside and they just go for it. I think that will give Arteta enough time to go and buy some players that he wants, get rid of some of that deadwood, and just go, you know what? We don't have to be flying to Slavia Prague on Thursday night and then playing Wolves on a Sunday. Just get out of Europe and have a season where they can go, right, aim is top four, and then we'll try and challenge in 2 years, because then by that time your Sakas of the world will be at a level where they've played 3 seasons and scoring goals, and Emile Smith-Rowe's come through and he's bought his own players. Then they can go for it. So I think staying out of Europe is probably the best thing that can happen to Arsenal. I even think a couple of Arsenal fans would agree with that, if I'm being honest, and just concentrate on the league.
Yeah, it's probably not the worst time either to be out of Europe next season. I can't see many fans going out to Europe next season.
That's what I mean.
Very limited. It's not going to be and it's not a money making competition.
And they've got a shite owner. He is he is terrible. You know, he's not the Gazidis of the world and that. They've run that club so bad over the last 10, 12 years that I don't know. Maybe then I don't know. They could do with a buyer. They could do with a big buyer.
I've never known a club spend so long using the excuse of we're still paying for the stadium. You know,
I know. 2006, mate. They moved in there. 14 years, man.
They use that excuse so long. Every summer where they didn't really reinvest in players, it was we've still got to pay for the stadium, and we're still paying it off. They had a couple of 50 million signings in Lacazette and Aubameyang 3 or 4 years ago.
Ozil, Sanchez.
Lacazette and Aubameyang are now 29 and 31 respectively.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not getting any younger. So although they're shifting out some of the deadwood, players like Lacazette and Aubameyang will probably be of that same sort of ilk within 1 or 2 years' time.
That's what I mean, and that's why I was surprised to give Aubameyang that contract of 3-4 years or whatnot. I just thought he's 31. Not that I'm one of them ages or whatnot. You can do what you want, but he is a class player. But he's like bang off it, and sometimes your legs can go.
I'm gonna ask you one question, mate. One question only, and it's a one-word question.
Go on,
Willian.
Oh God. I was such a big Willian fan at Chelsea. I mean, he's been terrible, hasn't he? He has been awful. But again, when you're in your rhythm at a club, I always thought Willian were better than Hazard. I liked Willian, and I think most Chelsea fans will have gone. They were gutted to lose him. Yeah. Sometimes at 32, moving it might not be the best thing, and he's moving to a team that's in real full-on transition, new manager and whatnot. It's a funny one. I think Willian, he is one that could be at AC Milan next year.
Oh, 100%.
He really could be, because I think they're not having him there, and he has been poor. I can't sugarcoat. He's been dreadful.
Do you reckon Italian teams look at players who are 30, 31 and think, God, he'd be really good for the future?
Look, I think like they're going, hey, has William had a bad game? Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. 3-year contract.
They think he's like 21.
Yeah, get that contract. Put a figure. Yeah. It's not been the move that I thought. I thought it would have been great. I thought actually it was quite
and he started well,
sensible signing. Yeah, he did start well, but I mean it's gone down the pan. But is it a system that he's playing in? Is Arteta not using William? But I mean, I saw was it a free kick or corner the other day? And it didn't even make the first man, not beat the first man. He's just like he's lost all footballing ability. Yeah. It was like us on a Wednesday night a few years back when we can play. Yeah.
But the thing is, William, mate, he's a great footballer.
He is.
When Chelsea had that absolutely woeful season, he was the one.
He was the man, yeah.
And when they
wasn't that the season when they were out of everything and they just concentrated on the league? I think he was brilliant that season. I think him and Hazard were very, very good.
Yeah, it was the season after.
Right, okay.
So they were out of Europe and out of everything, and that's when I think they won the title that year, didn't they?
They won the title. Yeah, they won the title.
They were a pivotal part of that. And again, what is he, Willian? Is he 31?
32. 32.
Mate, you look at players nowadays, man. That sort of age is becoming football.
29.
Between
I agree.
It used to be between like 27 and 30. That footballer's prime now is becoming between like 29 and 32. When footballers are absolutely at their peak and at their prime.
Yeah. Well, look at Lewandowski. I mean, it was.
Yeah, he's at the peak of his
He's
powers.
another one. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So
I tweeted that actually, and BT Sport retweeted me.
Did they really?
Got a fair few likes for that.
Oh right. Well,
and it was his chest goal, and he turned. It's just a player who just knows everything about his game, his team, brilliant.
Yeah.
Just on that point, then Bayern, Man City, Champions League. Do you think it's between them two, or do you think PSG are going to throw the? This is just a very quick question because we're going to go on to Fulham in a minute, as you do. Bayern Munich to Fulham, why won't we?
Yeah.
But Champions League, though, it's a good call because they're both flying at the minute. Man City, I'm going to edge Man City. If they can get Aguero backfiring for the second half of the season, it's kind of like a new signing.
Yeah, you're right, mate. Yeah. It's probably between them two, Man City and Bayern.
Yeah.
I can't see anybody else. Even PSG, who have they got?
You feel they'll fall short, won't you? You just feel.
Yeah, they, as good as they are, again, they are a victim of the league that they play in. They don't play the teams that are right up there. every week.
And Mbappe, though, it looked frightening, didn't he, at Nou
He
Camp?
did, mate. Yeah, he did. But
Good goals.
Barca again aren't the team that they were. You know,
they're not.
We look at Ajax from a couple of years back when they played Spurs. You know, you compare it to the league that they played, and they were unbelievable in Europe. And they just felt.
Dusan Tadic scores 25 goals a season.
Yeah, I could have thought that.
Crazy.
But again, you look at PSG. You know, when they get right to the top, and who did they sign in the summer? Moise Kean.
Yeah, who's been good though.
He has been good, and he's probably got the best footballing agent of all time to get him there.
Unbelievable. I know, yeah. Unbelievable, yeah. Moise, what? PSG have signed you? Yeah, no, they have. Yeah. Get up.
I've already signed it for you.
What?
The plane's leaving now. The plane's leaving.
Yeah. So, all right. So, just going back to Premier League. So, we're working his way down. Fulham, Newcastle. That's going to be their own battle down there. I think West Brom and Sheffield. I mean, there's a big game this weekend, and it's Fulham. Is it Fulham Sheffield this weekend? I think it is, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah.
So, Fulham win. They're 7 points behind at the minute. They go behind. Oh, sorry. They will go within 2 points if they win. And Newcastle have got Man United. So, I can't see Newcastle getting anything at Man United. So, say if that's the case, and Fulham beat Sheffield, and it's 2 points, who's your money on to go down? Callum Wilson's out for 8 weeks.
Yeah, that is a major blow. Major blow, because I don't see where their goals come from at all.
Well, Andy Carroll, I don't think has scored since his return, has he?
I think
2 years
nearly. Cup, didn't he? I think this season.
Yeah, Cup.
There isn't many goals in that team, full stop. And the goals that there was Callum Wilson, and if he's out for pretty much the rest of the season, or what is it? Did you say next 8 weeks?
Well, 8 weeks he's out for. He's done his hamstring.
Even if he does come back, he's not going to be 100%, is he? So that takes you to probably about 34, 35 games. And Fulham are improving, man.
It may come down to that. Yeah, it may Fulham, do it down there. It's going to be exciting down there, actually.
Fulham are looking very, very good. I'd probably stick with you, mate. I think Sheffield United and West Brom are probably going. If Allardyce gets West Brom out of that, with that team, if they somehow get out of that relegation zone, I mean...
I can't see that. I can't. They're poor, aren't they?
The squad that they've got, man. They've got such a poor squad.
They've got a very championship squad now, if I'm being honest, as well. And, Snoddy, big fan,
Yeah, you know what you're going to get from Snoddy.
You know what you're going to get, but, at 32, it kind of feels like if he won in the championship with them, they'd probably do unbelievable. Like, that would be... Yeah, the free kicks and your corners and your leaders, 32-year-old, brilliant. But I look at that squad and I just think that's not a Premier League squad. I think Allardyce knows that he's got a bad squad there.
I think he'd bring them back up as well. I think if West Brom went down, they are a kind of yo-yo club out there, West Brom.
Keeper's good. What's he called? Really like him. Oh, brilliant keeper.
Yeah.
Big. He's a Premier League keeper.
Yeah, but he's been testing too much, man. And they don't have a great back forward, do they? They don't at all. And Sam Johnson's been tested. I think he's made one of them. Oh, he's up there making the most saves in
100%. Yeah. I saw it came on Sky the other day, and it was incredible the amount of shots he had. Unbelievable.
It'll probably go down to who's got the best back four, who's scoring the most goals, who's probably got the best keeper. By the way, the Fulham's goalkeeper is Areola, the guy from PSG.
Yeah,
he's some goalkeeper, man.
He is a good keeper, isn't he?
Honestly, I know he's only on loan there, but once I think he's 26, 27. End of the season, he's going to go to a big club if PSG don't keep him.
So Olympiacos, yeah.
Yeah, I think the French still probably need.
I'm going to say it. I think Newcastle are going to go down. I do. I think there's I think the negativity around the club. I see Bruce. By the way, I think we both listened to Alex Bruce on TalkSport talking about the abuse that, no one condones. That's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Steve Bruce has never even been given a chance really at that club. No. He's got a dreadful owner. There's been no fans in that stadium. We know what we've been at St James's Park together. It's unbelievable. We went for a pre-season game. You remember it? It was unbelievable. Yeah. The atmosphere. They've been desperately missed, but they just feels like they're going to go down in a really grey cloud. Yeah. And I think Fulham have found that identity, and I think Scott Parker's done really, really well, and I think that they're going to pick him.
He's got to play at the right time. Yeah, he's just got to play at the right time, hasn't he, Fulham? There won't be much in it. You're right, though. They do look a championship team, the Newcastle. There's not a lot of goals in that team at all. There's a bit of creativity.
Energy. So maximum. I mean, he plays and you go, oh, he's great to watch. And then I look at everyone else and I go, I feel like everyone's got like 50 pace, you know, and you know, Lascelles, you know, they're going about him. I think I'm not a big fan, you know, I'm not a big fan. But you know, right through Shelby, you know, attitude on his day can ping a pass, but you know, as good as anyone in the Premier League. But you know, your Wagstaffs, and I just don't see it. I just don't see. But I think if they went down, they'd have some decent players, and if they could add, you know, maybe. But unless they maybe get rid of Seabruce and bring Benitez back for the last few games.
Yeah.
But
I can't see that happening, man. I really can't see that happening.
I can't.
It'll all depend on how good Fulham are, rather than how bad Newcastle are, because I think that's probably going to be
100%. 100%.
It just depends on Fulham's run of fixtures, if they can pick up results. Because Newcastle will pick up the odd result, but they will also lose a lot of games.
Well, they beat Everton, didn't they? Again, Callum Wilson was. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, I get that. Right, how long have we got left? How long?
About 3 or 4 minutes, mate.
Right, talk to me about VAR.
Oh, God.
Oh God, I hate it now. I still think if the people, the men in suits at the top, actually just used it for what it could be good for, we wouldn't talk about it.
Yeah, I think.
But Bamford again last night. Even he tweeted it, didn't he? Today?
He was onside.
Onside by quite a bit.
Yeah, like I mean, in this season's terms,
we've had closer ones. Yeah, we've had closer
in
ones.
this season's terms, you know, looking back at what was given on and offside earlier on this season, and actually last season, he was clearly onside. My issue with VAR recently is it's taken far too long. I mean, some of them are wrong decisions. Like last night was technically a wrong decision.
It was wrong. It was wrong.
And like last night, you know, he didn't put his flag up straight away. Of course, he waited until the goal went in. Then that's my pet peeve. He probably didn't even think it were offside. He probably put his offside flag up just to sort of cover his own back, you know, because it was going to be reviewed. Every goal was reviewed. But if he let his flag down and it's offside, it looked ridiculous. My gripe with VAR recently is, I know it's gonna stick around. They ain't gonna get rid of it, man. As much as I am desperate for it to go, and please God, when we go back into stadiums, I am desperate for it to go, because I ain't celebrating a last minute.
But it's not though. It's not going to go.
It's not going anywhere. So the only way that it's going to work for me is, and it's opened up a whole kind of worms with rule changes. I mean, we read a couple of months back that, you know, in the last year or so there's been more than 100 rule changes. This is the simplest game in the world, football. You have a ball, you put it in the net using your feet.
Do you think VAR should be just get rid of VAR for offside? Let that be, you know, mistake either, you know. And I know we've seen some bad ones in the past. I get that. Or do you keep it? And unless it's a ridiculous, remember that one like with a Aubameyang that put a flag on, you know,
listen,
like,
mate, those words clear and obvious.
Yeah.
Again, like every other decision in football, those words are subjective. What's clear and obvious to me may not be clear and obvious to you. You know, because football, 99.9% of decisions within football, apart from the ball crossing the line, is a subjective decision. So anything else, me and you could probably debate all day long about a tackle where he may or may have not got the ball, where he is and is not offside.
Yeah.
Like last night, Wolves fans will say he were offside last night. You know, they'll said like, you know, his head were offside or something. You know.
Yeah, like that.
You know, like
we're offside.
They could say, you know, Cody's not getting an advantage because he were running that way. He's not gaining an advantage, even though his heel were there. He's not gaining an advantage. Me and you could debate about decisions all day long. So for me, if you're going to keep VAR, you know, don't review every single goal, because you're just going to have fans just sat there celebrating a goal, but, you know, then looking up at the scoreboard thinking, right, please give a goal, please give a goal.
Yeah, unless it's like a 30-yard screamer that there's no one inside. I know, I get it.
I don't watch goals nowadays and think, yeah, it's definitely a goal. There's always that, even if it's 5, 10, 15% of my mind thinking, could get chalked off this. And I've seen even in the past couple of months where, you know, the goal's been given 30 seconds ago, goal, 100% goal, nobody's questioned it, and then the commentator will say, well, they're having a look at it.
I know.
You're having a look at it? What?
I know.
And then it turns out to be the most marginal decision that you can think of. So, look, and again, if you can't see it on the first look, which a lot of the decisions you can't, it's not clear and obvious.
Give the goal.
Just give the goal.
Yeah. I know.
Go with the ref. Just go with the ref.
And by the way, I actually don't mind them looking at every goal. I don't mind that.
Yeah.
To a degree, I kind of don't mind that. But in my gripe is, offsides because we don't need a linesman. We don't need a linesman anymore. So for me, let that be a decision, and go with it.
Just finally, mate, on referees, mate. Did you see the thing in midweek with the
I was going to bring that up.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on it?
Well, listen. Yeah, he probably did step over the map. But remember when Kalina used to get in the face?
Yeah.
And he used to go away. He'd go away. And he would get, literally, I mean, you can go on YouTube and he would be there to them. Go away. But he never leaned his head in.
Yeah.
He was a bit out there. But I think he's a past military man in and stuff. And I think he just, but just on the flip side, counter argument, these refs get so much crap thrown at them. We don't know what. And to be fair to him, I think the player did come out, didn't he, and say, look, it was, drop it, leave it, whatever. I think he's missing this weekend. Yeah, it was a bit silly. Probably shouldn't. Listen, get in there, and I quite like seeing a referee going, get away. My decision, go away. And, second, away from his face, no problem. He did lean in. He did. You know what I mean? So let's just move on. Punishment, take him off this weekend, cool down, next weekend, put him back in. Because apparently he's a good referee.
Yeah.
So,
from what I hear, mate, he's a good referee. He's very well respected within the lower leagues. Again, we live in this cancel culture world where as soon as somebody does something wrong, you say, get rid of him.
It's emotional.
Yeah.
A referee can get emotional. He's trying to do his job as well.
Yeah.
And he didn't kill this guy. He leaned in with his head. It's testosterone. It's guys, and it's whatever.
I would hope that common sense prevails, mate. The FA say to him, look, you were a bit silly for doing that. We know you've got a track record. Your track record speaks for itself, and that trumps the bad decisions.
And I think to be honest, mate, I already think that has been decided. I think they've taken him off this weekend. I think which is probably a good decision. And next weekend he goes on. Yeah, he cracks on.
I mean, I'm not going to mention the fact that he gave the wrong call. Anyway.
No, we didn't. We'll go past that.
Because it was definitely a penalty.
Absolutely. And this is what I'm saying, but it's emotions in the referee got it wrong and whatever. And tensions were high, but we move on there. So, on that note, we'll leave that. And listen, Mike Dean, that's all I'm going to say on that. There's been some chances there. Listen, thanks for joining us. Follow us on social media. We'll be back next week. Probably with more views and opinions and VAR and
nobody likes.
Oh God, kill us now. But listen, see you next week. See you later, mate.